Hello, fabulous listeners. This is Anita from Happiness Factors podcast. Namaste, happy holidays, good evening, good morning from wherever you are joining. It's holiday, the time to turn up the volume on your mental well being and embrace the good vibes coming your way. And thank you for tuning in to the podcast that's all about unlocking the secrets to a happier, healthier, joyful you. In a world that can sometimes feel like a roller coaster, especially during the holidays, we are here to be your joyous ride, your go to guide for mental wellness, no matter whether you are at work, with your family, with friends, we are always there for you, just a click away. Whether you are sipping coffee or tea, commuting, or chilling with a cozy blanket, get ready to sprinkle some sunshine into your day with our laughter packed and wisdom filled conversations. Today, I'm overjoyed to welcome Shalja Singh, the founder of Ayur Vastram, and together we are going to talk about how mental wellness gets impacted during the holidays, sometimes in good ways, sometimes not so good. So without further ado, the floor is yours, Shaljaji. Please introduce yourself to our Happiness Factors listeners.
Hello, Anita. A very happy holiday to you and to all the listeners. I am Shelja. I'm the founder of Ayur Vastram, which is a specialty clothing business for all the ladies. Uh, because I belong to the beautiful city, originally belong to the beautiful city of Lucknow, provide my beautiful clients with hand embroidered clothing and block printed clothing, um, which a lot of my customers truly love. And that makes me feel loved and makes my life happier. So I'm very glad to be part of this podcast with you, Anita. And I look forward to our discussion today. And hopefully, I am going to come out of it wiser. So let's get on with the topic today.
Awesome, thank you. We all are going to benefit from your wisdom as well. So, tell me something about how does the holiday affect your mental wellness, especially being a business owner and a small business owner on top of that?
Oh, yes, of course. Every business has a different cycle, and holidays can be stressful for business owners because it's also a time of making a lot of sales. It was also about managing, and it's also getting depressed if the sales are not going the right way. So, business has many facets and aspects, and holidays, I think, they just get intensified, and everything is fast paced and definitely can be stressful. And it's a great idea to have some stress management techniques which make you more efficient. And it's also a time of with your family, which has its own pluses and minuses. A lot of work at home front also, which is joyful as well as sometimes stressful. So, learning to manage and balance both your work at life as well as your home life is an art in itself.
That's totally true. Couldn't agree more. Yes, holiday times can be joyful and stressful at the same time because we have the joy of getting together with the people we love, whether it's family or friends and others. And at the same time, for some people, there's stress for buying gifts for everyone, or which they can always go to Ayurveda to do that, or happiness factory. They want mental wellness techniques. And it's an art in itself, like you put it so well, balancing both and coming out a winner. It's also important, I feel like not being a people pleaser because many times when we are into people pleasing mode, then what happens is we are doing everything for everyone else and some will appreciate, some might not be that happy because we might not have done it as per their expectations and that makes us feel bad. And that might be change our mood in not such positive ways. So it's very important to set our own boundaries and take some time for reflection, or maybe even start a day with the grounding technique like meditation, or even 5 minutes of setting intention or gratitude, so that whatever else comes in the day, we are better equipped to handle it.
Yeah, I completely agree that, setting expectations is the best way to start for any relationship, for any day, for the family, or for businesses or business also. It is setting the expectations for everyone makes it smoother for all the people involved. They know what is expected, how much to expect, and how much to contribute. And it's an ongoing process, definitely. But you're absolutely right that we should take time for ourselves and make sure that we are also happy and enjoying around others. Yeah. Being a people pleaser ultimately is so exhausting. And it is, a very non rewarding kind of persona that people put on.
Totally agree. Like you can't pour from an empty cup. I was just drinking water from mine. So if it was empty, there would be nothing. So if we are in the people pleasing mode, then we don't have much to give, and we might end up not feeling good or feeling annoyed or irritated, and it might not end up that well. So, what are some of the grounding techniques you use yourself in the right state of mind before, whether it's holidays or before you go to work or do your work? So, what kind of some of the routine you have in place which works well for you to manage your stress better?
You use the word routine. I think that routine is the key for me, especially. And especially as I get older, I love my routine more and more. I think that is very grounding, and uh, somewhere your own soul, your body likes it. And to start in a particular way every day, to start with some of you time before the family and the work gets in, I think is a beautiful way to start. And then I look forward to the morning routine, getting up in the morning and not feeling like it's a day full of chores, and definitely having a time for everything, and telling your loved ones at home also that this is the routine that I'm following. I'm not going to pressure them into anything, but this is the routine that I would usually follow. It's not like rigid, of course, it can change, but it still sets a boundary. And they also know what to expect. And that's a great thing for them also. It's not a lot of times family members are not there to make your life hard, but it's just better communication of the expectations makes it easier for everybody. So that's how I try. I'm not saying I'm perfect. We or my family is perfect or my business is perfect, but I think to think about it in advance, that this is to plan a little and then to go in that frame of the plan helps.
No, totally. I agree. Like, I also have my routine which I follow religiously. And mine starts with like, for as soon as I wake up, before I even get out of bed, put both my hands together and set an intention that today is going to be an amazing day. And then I warm up my hands and put it over my eyes before I open the eyes. And that doesn't mean that every day is amazing. It's not possible for anyone. But what that does is it helps me handle better whatever life brings to me that day. Whether it's electricity cut or my internet not working or some other news I get, which might just make me focus on putting out the fires rather than getting my priorities done. But still, it sets the right expectation, I would say, mindset for me. And after that, I always do my drinking warm water, 2 glasses, and then to expedite my metabolism before I even do my workout, and then yoga and meditation, some kind of mantras before I start my day. And I think once I'm able to do that, it's like my armor, right? I'm set to handle the day with full vigor and full zeal and positively. And if I don't do, if any days any day I'm not able to do that, then I feel that, oh, something is missing from my life.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. You get so recharged if you have that morning routine and yoga and meditation is like when you are inside out kind of feeling is there, and you're I also practice meditation, though not very regularly, and every time is such a beautiful feeling. You feel so calm and grounded and in control, right? Yeah, and as you said that that what the day brings is not in our control, but definitely how we respond to it is in our control.
Yeah.
And all of us have our Achilles heels, like certain things that we would love to never happen in our lives, but we don't control. And in those cases, how we respond to them, rather than try to ignore them, definitely helps. For example, I would like to give a certain example. I hate technical difficulties in more business. I totally, and if something happens, what I start doing is I start ignoring that portion of the business, even though it's hurting my business. Even though it's because it is frustrating. It takes a lot of time, and you're always short in time. And but I realize that doing that only adds to the misery. So sometimes I have to just make a plan that as soon as some this kind of difficulties come in, I am going to set a part of the day where I'm going to focus on those things. Once they are over, believe me, it's like a stone of the chest, the rock of the chest, and then you feel so much better. So if there are certain things that are nagging, sometimes hold the bull by the horn and get it done, however frustrating it is, and get it out of the way.
That's totally true. And for me, I mean, of course, I also have my pet peeves and some of the things which initially, before I used to get mad at them, but now if they come, I say, okay, what are you going to teach me today? I'm stronger than you. Let's
Yeah.
handle it together. And that helps me deal with some of the things much better than I used to do before. And also, I think having the gratitude mindset.
True, true.
Like,
That's
like I believe that people only get the problems which God or the universe knows that they can handle well. So if the problem is big, okay, I have that much more strength, that much more resilience, and that much more learning once I learn how to effectively handle it and come out a winner. Like, for example, so I used to host my podcast for the longest time with Bcast because once I uploaded there, they used to send it to 15 different podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and others. And so I was so used to it. And the reason I chose them because they are also a startup and I also have a startup. So I like to support my fellow business owners. But last year, actually earlier this year, mm, 2024 is almost gone. And see, I'm already in 2025 saying
yeah.
last year. But this year, what happened is they sent a mail that they are closing down. And so we all have to move to a new platform. And that was a big bummer for me because then I was looking for the longest time, okay, where should I host? Where should I host? But then I decided that even if 15 platforms, who goes through all those 15 platforms, right? For podcasts, usually people go to Spotify or Apple Podcast or Google Podcast, which now they have made it into YouTube. And so might as well just upload to those three and then not worry about it. And right now, I'm also going for with the bigger companies because I know that they will be around for much longer, and then I won't have to face the same dilemma again of okay, where are all my episodes going to go? Where can I again look for hosting and other things? So it put me down for a few weeks and also made me do research with a lot of people. Okay, where are they hosting? But so most of the people I know are hosting on Apple Podcast and Spotify.
It's so is yeah, you will choose which is more effective and efficient for you. And yeah, you don't have time for everything. Makes sense. Makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
So did you do any special cooking this holiday?
Yes, I did a lot of I mean, lot of cooking for most of the potlucks I went. I'm part of a few of the IIT groups. So I go to IIT music group. I go to IIT holiday party. But the reason, but before we go into that, I wanted to explain further about this issue because we were talking about the problems, right? What life brings
Yeah.
and how we handle. So the reason I'm focusing on that it was a very new problem for me and very disheartening because I already had like around 20, 30 episodes of my podcast on that
Oh,
particular podcast, including lots of big wigs whom I might not be able to get again on my podcast because they are such high level people. But then I remembered, oh, I already have the recording. I can just re-upload that same recording, even though I recorded it maybe 1 year ago. But at least I have those recordings. Only thing, the comments and the views I had gotten might not be there. So the reason I'm mentioning this particular example for the viewers and us is because it's a very new problem in already a busy startup life and something which you neither have the time nor the bandwidth initially to handle, but gradually you figure it out and gradually you get back on track like I'm doing today with you. So basically, it's not like no problem is big enough to not get resolved. Sometimes just we need to get more resourceful. Sometimes we just need to think a different way, ask a different question, and then it gets done. Yeah. And now I can go back to the holiday cooking what you asked.
oh yes,
So
yes.
what I know you are a good cook. You explain what you cook for your family, and then I can go ahead with mine.
Well, I would say I'm a good cook, especially because my family always, uh, you should know, they're not always very happy because both my son and my husband, they love meat a lot,
Uh-huh.
and I am
It's like goat
more
meat,
sorry.
goat meat or beef or
Oh, goat and chicken,
or goat and
mostly, and fish.
same meat means different things to different people.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I am more of a vegetarian kind of person. It's not that I don't eat.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's a tussle. In holidays, the tussle gets bigger. And so we have found our happy medium that uh, because my son would say, "Oh no, I don't want this chawal dal roti sabzi you make every day," and does it. So I and my husband said, "All right, so let's you why don't you do some cooking?"
That's a good one. Exactly for a teenager. First, explain to the viewers how old is your son, then they will get it buzzed up.
My son is 20. He has come back for the holidays. He's in college. So he loves eating out. And he's a typical American kid now. And it takes a village to raise a child, and they love their environment they grow up in. And so he's like, you have a vegetarian kitchen and blah, blah. And I'm like, all right. So he said, why don't you do the cooking? So we planned it, and it's also a good skill to have. And so it takes, it's a clever way to reduces some of my work too. Because
Creative way, right? To add resourceful. Like,
it's resourceful, and it is also setting the expectations in certain ways. It's not that I'm a bad mom if I am is encouraging a 20-year-old to if who likes something different to cook what he likes, and it's also a good life skill for him.
yeah. Mhm.
So that's how it is going. Definitely, I try to make some special sweets. For me and my husband, as you grow older, uh, you become a little more conscious about what you eat,
Yeah.
and it is also important.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a tussle because if you cook at home and you can cook nice sweets and everything, it's not going to be a tiny amount. I try to say, okay, this holiday, only this day, I'm going to do the sweets. I'm not going to make too much of it. Otherwise, we are the ones who are going to eat it this most of the time. And we are the ones going to grow fat and get the diseases. So, yeah, in moderation, but I did a lot of Indian cooking for the family.
So for viewers, the sweets, we mean the desserts.
The desserts, yes, like kheer and special
Like the rice pudding with milk.
the rice pudding. Yes, the kheer is the rice pudding. Everybody in the family loves.
Yeah.
And
Can you cook?
yes,
Only
huh, yeah. So those kind of things. Sometimes there is a little chicky that you make. It is made out of jaggery and maybe sesame seeds or jaggery or the peanuts, and they are very nice snacks also and very healthy also.
yes, those are the healthy desserts.
Those are the healthy and very tasty desserts, right?
Yeah.
It's a great combination, especially for vegetarian people, because if you get the real good jaggery, which has a lot of vitamin C, it's not sugar, because sugar does not have many of the vitamins that jaggery has.
Not refined sugar, I would say. Unrefined sugar.
Even unrefined sugar, you will see, well, it's not same as jaggery. Jaggery is like you take the sugarcane juice and you just cook it till it becomes thicker, and that's it. So if you can get the actual unrefined jaggery and you mix it with peanuts, which has a lot of iron, or sesame seeds, which have a lot of iron, it's a great hemoglobin globin booster.
Yeah, because iron.
Yeah, because for vegetarians, for pure vegetarians, it's a great combination, and it's something you can eat as snacks. It's very tasty, it's yummy as well as it's healthy. A lot of traditional foods have so much what you call are so nutritious and so
Yeah, health
tasty.
benefits. Yeah. And for us who don't know how to cook, you can get the same chicky with the jaggery in the Indian stores or online on Amazon.
Can yes, you can, but you have to be then careful which company you're getting it from, because if they are using the whitened jaggery, the bleached jaggery, do not buy that chicky.
Yeah.
Because then they are refining it too much. You don't know what chemical.
So just look at what the what are the different benefits, what are the vitamins. If you see vitamin C there, then it's the right one.
Then is the right one. I would definitely say that. And products of Patanjali normally are very good.
Yeah, they're
And very
really good. I use not my Patanjali product. So let's get into your cooking. How you taught your, I won't say him a teen because he's already 20, but
he's 20.
yeah, but your young son to do the cooking.
It's like it was my husband who handles him better though. So he said, okay, so what is it that you want to eat? So why don't you do some of that? So they sat down, they planned. Then they went to Trader Joe's and they bought salmon and they bought some chicken. And he has started doing a lot of and they actually bought a small grill also. So it's quite a bit happening in the holidays. And then
But did it turn out good? Was it edible? What you made? Well,
yeah, no, let's see that as long as you don't burn it, I think it is fine. Salmon is with a lot of seafood food. You can't do too much to them. They cook very quickly, so they do the. We're just teaching them simple things like
that's good.
like
So,
the salmon got it.
yeah, if you need tips to even teach your teen how to cook, so Shalda ji will can help you.
Oh, no. I'm expert in nothing, but definitely.
Yes, yeah. And that's a really nice, like to teach him, especially when he said, oh, he wants other dishes than what you cook. Because here, most of the people don't cook. So kids are lucky, the one who get home cooked food, I would say first. And on top of that, you made him do that, and that also without him getting mad at you. That's incredible. You are a really good parent, I would say. Like the
I
right.
think he also got, he's living in hostel, right? So some of his friends actually cook. So I think that made him a little more amenable to
Cooking. Yeah.
and he thought that okay, they can do it. I should also know. And
Like mom is not going to do everything for me. Now I need to grow up.
you have to be independent, and so it's a good life skill, definitely.
Yeah, that's true. No, totally agree. Yeah. And that's really incredible. Yeah. So
And as the topic is, as we have been discussing how to make holidays that's stressful, especially for women. I think this is a great way to suggest and let people take some responsibility. And they also feel good about it. They also feel a little more in control. And yeah, you don't like
Then it doesn't turn out as good as they want, then it's no one else's fault. That
you have to take responsibility for
right.
your life.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'll get back to the initial question you asked about my cooking. So right now, actually, my brother is in ICU, so I didn't do much, but I did make some dishes for the potluck, and in one of the potluck, there is something really amazing, which was not just a total distraction, but made everyone laugh and feel better. They had a thing called unfashioned show.
Oh,
The opposite of fashion, right? And there were people with all different kinds of things. And the one who won the award, he had something which says, "Don't look at my T-shirt, look at my personality."
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was incredible, right? Such creative ideas. I wouldn't even think. Like I just went in my like a catwalk style fashion show, but it was totally opposite. So that was fun and also something new to think about. And always in those gatherings, they also apart from potluck, they also have singing. I got to do my stand up comics, so I was happy.
Okay.
And people are so it's like sometimes I think it's always good to get creative during the holidays. And I made like easy stuff. Made one dish with peas, paneer, which is the Indian version of cheese, and mushrooms. And that turned out well. But the recipe had said it's 20 minutes. It took me 2 hours to do everything, including
Right.
the sorting the different spices and onions and ginger and garlic, and then blending them, and then totally separately, like frying the mushrooms, frying the paneer, and then making the gravy, but it turned out good. So that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, also it was any time, any dish, I would say if it turns out good and people like it and you like it, it's therapeutic. Like you feel good, right? That I created something nice. And it was my original recipe because I modified it because tomatoes don't suit me. So I totally removed, I added ground cashews instead. And so cashews added a lot of taste to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It,
Yes, they absolutely make they give a sweet flavor, and which is I think most of us love cashew in any.
and also it's good for your health,
That's
right?
good.
So,
In moderation.
yeah, yes. So it turned out good. And so other than that, I didn't do much cooking for myself as such because whatever I cook, like it becomes so much, and I have to eat it for like 4 days. Which I after 2 days I don't eat. So it's like for 2 days it's fine. So I just make like some lentils or some like okra and those things which are simple so that I can finish it off very quickly. And then all some of my friends, like they all needed to, of course, it's a holiday season, so time to meet. So we met for lunch at different places. So that was kind of nice.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
So it was good. Overall, I would say it was good. And also, I got, I would say I didn't go attend some of the big parties because I didn't feel like it because of my brother's condition. But I'm glad I started hanging out. And I also attended Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny, which is a very good, I would say, mental wellness seminar to do because it makes you go deep into your psyche, heal from whatever you are going through. And also make a vision for your life, whether it's relationships, whether it's your personal goals, whether it's your business. So at least now I'll be on the right track for the new year, making goals for all aspects of my life. And also, one of the questions they ask there is, when will now be at the right time? Because we keep on putting things like I was putting off this podcast episode, right? So just do it in the now. Don't procrastinate. And that's
Absolutely.
another.
And get a partner, if we who can push you and you can push that partner and
Yes, like accountability. For me, a deadline and accountability, I do it much better than if someone doesn't, right? Even like um, simple things like even like my family always wants me to find a partner for myself, right? Life partner. And I never get into it. But I think my brother's illness put everything in perspective. And now with my sister reminding me every day, even if I forget, I have to do it. To on to people, right? So yeah, I think yeah, we do need the accountability partners in all aspects. So that was like just a funny example of the relationship part, but of course for our business, for for our even my podcast, or even my like I need to record one video every day, so I need to be held accountable for that, right?
Yeah.
Keep on.
Being an entrepreneur can be quite a lonely journey.
Yes.
And definitely partnering up is a good way, because you do everything, you keep doing it every day. You can be a very disciplined person, and even then, sometimes, yeah, it can get.
Life happens, right? Life can put you off track.
Yes, yes, it does. Absolutely.
And also, like, see, I'm a coach, but when I need coaching, I need someone else because I'm involved with myself. So that's why I tell people that even if you're going through some stuff, take some outside perspective, outside help, because they are not emotionally invested. So it will be more rational advice.
Yes, a second set of eyes
Right.
makes so
That-
much difference.
that-
They can see things that you do not, or you do not want to. A lot of times, that is also true.
Yeah, yeah, and hold you accountable.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, so another third thing I would say for keeping your mental wellness, always have a nice accountability partner
Yes.
in life and in business. Yeah.
Well, in current life, people have become so individualistic that sometimes um, we have gone too much to the other side.
Yes.
There was a time that we have been complaining so much about individual rights, and we forget that sometimes it can become too individual and too lonely. So we are finding a happy medium is so important.
I
And
totally agree, because about some always being about me society makes you more get more mental issues, more depression, more anxiety, because
Yes.
if you are alone at home, even a small thing becomes like in Hindi we say til ka tar bana diya, like a boom becomes a mountain. But if you have someone else to talk it out, they will help you you figure out the perspective. No, it's not that bad as you think, or
Right.
vice versa. But of course, also make sure you are with the right person you are discussing. Otherwise, they'll make it even bigger.
Yeah, but being too much in your head,
Yeah.
and if you're alone, it can be even sometimes more stressful. So having the right friends, right partners you are meeting regularly, do not cut yourself off.
Yeah, have a support system, a positive
Have a
support system.
Right,
And
right.
don't be afraid to cut off the people who bring the negativity to your life or give you the false advice.
Yes, yes.
So always make sure you have the right people who are your cheerleaders, who want to help you succeed rather than get jealous of you and not want you to be better than them. So get those set
Yeah,
people around.
but have honest friends also, who are honesty as well as affection, having real affection. Though it's not always readily available, but
Totally.
yeah, but I think that if you keep looking and you're also ready to do your part. A lot of times, things do turn out well. So,
Get the right things, but be aware of the wrong things. Like I have had in the past, before I became intuitive, and also before I started having my own ground rules. I used to have so many friends whom I thought friends, but they were my frenemies. Now, in hindsight, I realize, right,
yeah,
was getting the wrong advice at that particular time. But the good thing is, it took me a long time, but now I know whom to discuss everything with, whom to keep at a distance, and whom to only meet in the events, right? So, so that way, I think everyone should have that kind of like I call it my 5 circles of friendship. The closest ones, with whom you say everything and you take advice, are the few and far in between. The second best ones are the ones you can tell some things but not everything. The third ones are the ones you meet on and off. The fourth ones are the ones you meet in some events
right.
and you talk to them. And the fifth ones are only the only contact you have with them is like an acquaintance. You study somewhere or you don't see them somewhere, right? And if
Yeah.
and if we are clear about that, I think finding good friends might not be that difficult, and people who look out for you, right? Like you said, like we connect at the heart. So the same way you can find people who can connect with you at the heart and who think only the best for you.
Yes.
So there is enough abundance for everyone in this world. There's no lack of, right? Yeah. Yeah. And so that's why support system and having a good support system is very important, especially the ones I know in this modern society, people like to go for they call it a happy hour. It's more of an alcohol hour for me, but anyways. Also get friends who don't tell you to indulge into bad habits,
Right.
like too much drinking or too much of, or getting into drugs or other things, which because ultimately then it will negatively impact you, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you don't have to indulge in activities that are negative or have a negative effects.
Yeah.
I don't understand drugs at all. And rather, I don't get it. I mean, yeah, I am guilty of being a tea and a coffee lover, but that's the maximum.
Tea and coffee is just that's very minor.
Sometimes you feel that I'm too dependent on it, maybe, but but that's the limit. and you know what? I think that the best way for people to get to start friendships is have activity partners.
Yes.
Like you like going hiking. It's a beautiful activity. Hook up with someone who also loves hiking. You don't have to share everything, but if you start going out with people for activities, slowly and slowly, you will find out if you gel with the person, whether the relationship will grow or not. So, whatever activities you like and you want to do regularly, do it with a partner. And
Like there is a book called The Never Eat Your Lunch Alone.
right. Oh, beautiful advice. Yeah.
Yeah. So always find, because then also you get a different perspective than what you are used to.
True.
That will help your mental wellness in the long run, because I think, and also having a learning mindset.
Yes. Yes.
From everyone you can learn something. Doesn't matter how old, young, or what stream of life they are from. Like you can always learn something from someone new. Many new things from you with your successful business, and I have my startup.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. We are always learning from young or old. Everybody has some of their experiences to share.
Yeah.
So it is absolutely great. Yeah, find the right people. You will always get it, but it's a process.
Yeah.
And keep enjoying life and the expectations of others, your expectations. We start building boundaries and we are happy. I think a lot of wisdom also comes with age
Mhm.
as we get more grounded, more settled. Sometimes,
And more
really,
experience.
sometimes late.
Experience is a big teacher.
Experience is a big teacher. Some people, if they have gone through a little tough time, like you have told me your story, I think that then also comes the wisdom.
Oh, totally. More compassion, more kindness, and more understanding of others.
Yeah, yeah, because
Yeah.
those experiences, they don't break you. You come out stronger, isn't it? And smarter.
Yeah. If you are, either you come out stronger or you're not there.
Yeah, I know.
So the only direction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I would say when people are looking for their support system or friends they can rely on, it's always a good test to see how you feel after the meeting with that particular individual or person, whether you feel drained out, whether you feel happy and joyous, whether you feel positive, whether you feel negative. And based on the emotions you experience after the meeting, you will know whether they are good for you or not that good for you.
Absolutely, exactly. If you're feeling drained out, that's not the right kind of to be with.
Or or people who have a problem for every solution you give, they will always make your life negative. So limit your time with them, I would say. And also I think practicing self-care, because once you practice self-care, automatically the confidence builds up. And if you're more confident, you will get more good people to surround you, and people get attracted to a confident person because
Yeah.
confidence itself is very character building, and
It's
also
a magnet.
it's a positive impression to others, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's very important also to schedule time for yourself and activities like you mentioned to reach that make you feel happy, that recharge your mind and body. Like for me, if I go dancing or if I'm out like either hiking or playing golf or anything in nature, it totally recharges me, right?
Yes.
So something like that, whatever it doesn't, and there's no right or wrong answer. Whatever recharges you, as long as it's not like looking at your phone all the time alone, then it's not recharging.
Everybody is different. What recharges you? What recharges you? So yeah, go ahead with that. Find a partner with that.
Yeah, like it can even include like reading a good book and being part of a book club, or working out, or spending time in nature, or just practicing self stress management skills like meditation or deep breathing or mindfulness, and also to prioritize the necessities like eating a well balanced diet, which gives you all the nutrition, because the main cause of most diseases is a lack of nutrition.
Yes.
Getting plenty of sleep and finding the time to for physical activity, whether it's exercise, whether
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
doing your household chores, or whether it's something else there, but always it's very, very important to find time for that, right? And sometimes when we are feeling down, I would say even supporting others and helping others helps us feel good because we did something good for someone else.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You have your own thought process, your own ideals, and your moral compass. And working with that and with certain goals, it definitely is very rejuvenating. It
Yes.
gives you some goals also. And yeah, helping someone is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
So,
Especially for people who don't have friends or even that much family around, if they help others, they feel part of the community. They feel part of the holiday season.
that's a good technique.
If the person thanks them, they feel even better. They got the gratitude, right?
Right.
Makes them feel good and about themselves and an integral part of the community.
Yeah, little things, little things. It does not have to be some big help or anything. Just little things are always make a lot of difference.
Totally. Like just talking to someone who is lonely in your neighborhood.
Yes.
Something that can be as simple as that. Or
Mhm.
helping a neighbor out with some little thing, older neighbor out with some little thing they need get done if you are able to do it. Some
Right.
simple errand, taking them to the post office, or even getting helping them get their groceries can help. Because
Yeah.
she's no longer here, but I used to have a neighbor who never used to drive, and she was an older woman, like retired,
Um,
and she and her husband lived, but they didn't have a car. And so she would always like buy the groceries and carry them like in her hands, right? In the back.
right.
And sometimes she wasn't able to do that because she was almost like bending down, like hunching. So I told her, like, okay, next time, whenever I go to groceries, I'll take her with me, because then we can put it in the car and bring it home.
Yeah.
Leave it. And that simple thing helped her so much. She was so grateful. Always, she used to make so many lovely dishes for me. Even
Right.
like for me, I was already going for my grocery or just make an extra trip for her, then I can also get the groceries for myself, right? It didn't make
Mhm.
much of a difference. So it's very important to connect with the community and maybe help out whenever we can, because that creates a sense of feeling good among ourselves as well as makes the other person feel health and they also feel good. So it's a win-win for both the parties. So I would say if for people who can't be near loved ones during the holidays, and they're stressed out about that, it's always good to find a supportive community. It can be either meetup groups, support groups, different local clubs in the area, even their neighbors or
Right.
community center. Like lots of people need people to volunteer to distribute food for the homeless and even things like that, right? That- And if they belong to any faith, then the community is related to the faith, whether it's temple or church or any other thing.
Yeah, to get to right.
Right.
That's a great stress buster, to get involved with your local community, your temple, your church, or any organization that fits with your worldview and personality. Is definitely a great stress buster.
Yeah, and it can help reduce the feelings of loneliness and isolation.
Loneliness.
And also, maybe having a regular phone call with family or friends if they can't be together, because that works wonders. Like for me,
Yeah.
most of my relationship with my family, them being across on the other side of the world, is through phone calls and through WhatsApp and other things. So whatever can help you feel connected with those you love is the important factor. Doesn't matter whether you're physically with them or not physically with them.
Yeah.
Long as we find some way to connect, that helps people not feel lonely, that helps people feel loved as well as part of a community, part of the family. And also, sometimes people just send gifts to their loved ones through the post office or the FedEx or some other means, because then they feel once they get it that, okay, this person was thinking about me, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah, those things matter. Sometimes in our busy lives with work and everything, we tend to forget, but all of those things matter so much. And those little things, little gifts, little gestures, those things are make you happier too. So you can always on holiday, and what better time than holidays?
Yeah, and also I would say, also changing in general to be happy. It's always good to have a we mentality rather than a me mentality. And the reason being is there's only this much that can happen to a me because it's one individual. But if we are part of a community and we can be happy with someone else is winning something, some award, some other things or
Yeah.
accolades, and we can learn from them as well as we will have a support group to help us out as well. And for those feeling overwhelmed because friends and family have arrived and they have to take care of them, then making the me time as well as having some regular routine of grounding themselves can work wonders, no matter what life ends. So, what
Yes.
are some of the other tips or strategies you will like to share with the listeners during the holiday season to not just control stress, but also to feel joyful and happy?
Don't get too worked up about things. Okay, it's not perfect. It's fine, and just be happy and enjoy through it.
Okay, yeah, those are all good advice. And I will also like to give some strategies for supporting your mental health during the holiday season and beyond. So pay attention to your feelings. And remember, it's always okay to feel unhappy if you're feeling it. Let it come through and pass through. And because recognizing your feelings is the first step to addressing them and getting over them and nurturing them.
Right.
And also have a plan for when you are feeling stressed, sad, lonely, or anxious. What do you do to get over it? So, if you planned in advance, whether it's going for a walk, doing a meditation, engaging in any activity that brings joy, even watching a favorite comedy, having a plan ahead of time can help ensure that the difficult moments are more manageable. And of course, practicing self care, which is all a part of it. So it's very important to schedule time for yourself, even if your busy life allows only 5 minutes. It's better than nothing, and have activities that recharge your mind and body. It can
Absolutely.
include reading a good book, or working out, or spending time in nature, or something else. And of course, like we discussed before, connecting with the community and giving back. And also having a gratitude process regularly. Like when you have gratitude, you automatically start feeling happy and abundant because when you compare yourself with others, you're feeling lack. But when you're grateful, you have that thing to be grateful for, right? Like we are grateful for being able to record this podcast episode together in this absolute look. Okay?
And that, yeah, totally. And yeah, I think coming together and doing this is itself a great activity, and we both of us share certain passions, and we are able to do it together.
Yeah.
It also gives you a sense of accomplishment.
Yes.
That gives you happiness.
Yes. Yes, anything that gives you happiness. And of course, it's also important to recognize the seasonal mood changes that many people have because many times people are used to hanging out a lot with their friends and their friends' families, and they all get busy during the holidays. So it's okay to feel sad, or it's okay to feel some triggers, if especially if you're alone and the days get shorter and colder and rainier. So have some tools in place to handle this, whether it's watching a comedy, having a mindfulness session, talking to your coach. And if you have any other form which you are not able to handle, then happiness factors is always there for you. And as we mentioned before, please avoid excessive alcohol and drugs because ultimately they are depressant, even though advertisement says otherwise. And know when to seek help. When is it that you think you can't handle it by yourself? And that's the time you reach out to for help, whether you go to therapy or come to a coach at Happiness Factors or go somewhere else. But definitely be sure to seek help and not let it get too unmanageable and too out of control.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you said something about, short days and cold and
Yes.
rain. And I just wanted to share that, yeah, at some point, I hated it where with the time change and it becoming dark at 5 o'clock. And even though we are in California and with the rains. So, you know what? What I started doing was that even every day, I would take out time to go out in the nature just for a walk during 11 o'clock or whenever I can snatch, say, half an hour. I'll go and walk in a park, in a local park, in a local trail. And it worked like magic. You know, I was not feeling depressed in the evenings anymore. I felt more connected to the nature. It was like magic. I was no longer unhappy about the long dark time of winters at all. So sometimes, I think solutions can come from things that you enjoy. Like I'm a nature person. So it gives me the energy, it rejuvenates me. So connecting and finding solutions like that can do absolute wonders.
Totally. Or we can have like the backgrounds we have. You have a sunshine in your background. I have the northern lights. That automatically makes me feel happy and not the cold. And also, the northern lights are in parts of Sweden and other very, very cold places.
Wow.
People are amazed and they go from all over the world to watch these northern lights. Afraid of the cold and the chilly and the times and the rain. Just find something. Or even for me, rainy season is my best time to make a good cup of tea and have it with some nice snacks and watch a comedy.
And watch the rains also. Just go sit on a window and watch the rains.
Yeah,
Yes.
sometimes it makes you happy. So find something that makes you happy this holiday season, that makes you feel joy, and let us know what other topics you would like us to focus on and what made you happy this holiday season. And till next time, namaste.
Namaste. Thank you for listening to us. And it was a joy talking with you, Anita.
Thank you.